Hey, my creative friends. My name is Shannon, and I am from shannonstudio.com. And I talk about a creative life and what it might look like. Everybody in the world is probably on their phones right now, at home on their phones. So we're just going to plow through. When it breaks the connection, I'm just going to stop and pause, and then I'll start up again when it starts up again. So tonight we're just going to talk about like 5 comforts that we can use in order to counteract the coronavirus, the COVID-19. So just some simple things, but I think it's worth reminding ourselves. As I was talking to one of my girls this morning, and she was just depressed and really down. So because of this, and it's changed her plans, and she went home, and just lots of things, and it just kind of piled up on her, and she was just feeling really down. And so I just thought, there are certain things that help us, to elevate our mood when we're in stress. So I'm going to just talk about the 5 of the things. So the first thing is music. And that is so simple, and I forget sometimes to turn on music. I don't really listen to music a lot because I'm usually listening to a podcast or a class or something else. And so Netflix. So I usually am not putting on music, but this week I put on music, and I think sometimes it's just instinctual that we do things that we know subconsciously. So music's one of those things. To put on some music, all you have to do is push a playlist button, and there you go. One of the quotes I found about music was that the experience of stress arises when an individual perceives the demands from the environment as taxing. Oh, no, that's not at this time, is it? As taxing or exceeding his or her resources and endangering his or her well-being. Music has, and that's totally sums up where we're at, like the whole world. Music has been shown to beneficially affect stress-related physiological, cognitive, and emotional processes. So just playing that music, and sometimes it brings back memories, good memories as well. So just turn on some music. Just turn on music. That's pretty simple. Another one is to start a slow hand work project to keep your hands busy. I was reading a story about one girl who her brother died, and she just was in post-traumatic had syndrome over it, and panicked every time she got in a car, and just went to the doctors, and then her husband gave her some knitting needles. And then she just realized just the rhythm and what was happening. She stopped focusing on what could happen bad like her brother and started focusing on the knitting, and it changed how she felt. So starting a slow project, because we have time. A lot of times it's like we don't have time for a slow project, but I would guess most of us have time to start that slow project we've been thinking about or put off or have had in a drawer for 10 years. So CNN Health or Jack Wilson says there's promising evidence coming out to support what a lot of crafters have known anecdotally for quite some time, and that's that creating, whether it be through art, music, cooking, quilting, sewing, drawing, photography, or cake decorating, is beneficial to us in a number of important ways. We know that. We do know that. We never needed science to tell us that, but it's nice that science is coming along. So start that hand project, or even one of these other ones, cake decorating. Record some of the things and places that you see out your window, because we're not really going places. That's kind of funny. Okay, and sewing and quilting. Okay, the third thing is to set the table. So set the table, make it inviting. We know there's a lot of benefits sitting down together as a family and bonding and talking and having this emotional development go on, and to be able to hear how our family's doing, and to kind of see their status about where they're at with what's going on. So set the table, make it inviting. It always just makes you feel a little special, even if you just throw on a tablecloth. I used to just like to throw on tablecloths, mostly because when the kids ate, then I could just take it off and I didn't have to wipe off the table. But the thing is that it makes it look a little nicer. It makes it look a little more inviting, to be able to put a tablecloth on, set the table, and say invite people in. The fourth, so that was 1, 2, 3. The fourth thing is bake something. Bake something. It doesn't even have to be from scratch. It's like get the rolls that are already done and just bake those. Get the box mix that you just have to add a few ingredients. It doesn't have to be from scratch, but what it does is it fills the air with comfort. I mean, when you smell the bread, when you smell the brownies, or when you smell something warm, and it just kind of gives that comforting feeling. And so having something baked, and I've seen on Instagram a lot of people are baking things. And I think we are just instinctually doing certain things to help ourselves. But I wanted to point out, if we do them deliberately too, and make sure we do them, instead of, because sometimes we might just go, I don't want to, I don't feel like it, what's the big deal? Well, some of these things are a big deal to be able to create an environment that is more helpful to our situations. So yeah, bake something. Or, whatever the smells of your families. Because, and here's another thing, if you're not baking something, simmer some lemons, citrus, that's a great smell. So simmer something that kind of keeps, here's a quote from University of Toronto that says, neurobiologists identified a mechanism that allows the brain to recreate vivid sensory experiences from memory. Our findings demonstrate for the first time how smells we've encountered in our lives. Tricia says we are taking graduation pictures on our own, but graduation may or may not be happening, but we will have a cap and gown pictures. That's great. That's great to have. You had to switch the celebrating a little bit different, but you're still making memories and celebrating anyways. And I think that's the way we're going to have to do a lot of things, is to just be creative and recreate a moment in a little different vein, a little different way. So those are 5 things that we can do deliberately that don't take a lot of extra time or effort. So put on music, set the table to make it inviting. My phone keeps going out. Bake something, or set something to simmer. So I think those things will bring about a lot of comfort in our homes or around us. As we kind of do this self-isolation and we kind of make a little bit a different new normal, and if we kind of add those things, I think it will just lower our stress and elevate our capacity and resilience to deal with the situations we're in. So tell me what you're doing, besides Tricia taking pictures and having a little celebration with graduation, to see what you're doing to add that comfort level in your home, to be able to help us pull away from with the news and the realities that we have, to have just a little bit, of that comfort in the home. So tell me what you are doing. As I say, hopefully it goes off. Hopefully the connection will be. Bye for now.